I'm live now. I'm here with my esposa, and today I'm wearing my Team Stoic shirt for the first time. And that was either one of the best or worst decisions of my life because you're supposed to rely on logic and not get emotional, and it didn't work. And so when you go to the mailbox at 10 something in the morning and the guy hands you your mail and you get something from the toll roads, you're immediately going, I didn't drive anywhere. Why am I getting a toll roads thing? My first thought is it's another scam. So I had previously posted that we got an actual mail scam. What was it, like 2, 3 weeks ago? And I told the ins and outs of that scam. I opened this thing up from the toll roads and it had a phone number in it. So the first thing I do is not Google that phone number, but Google the toll roads and see what is their contact number, and it matched. So then I'm looking at the top, and it's a violation of a toll road, and it's not a plate that's mine. And I'm thinking, okay, they sent me the wrong documentation that belonged to somebody else. And it has a violation number and a plate number, and the plate number doesn't match mine. So I got to call them then. That's a legitimate phone number. So I call them, and the agent was absolutely worthless on the phone. I explained to her that was not my car. I don't have a car with that plate. Before she even asks me what the plate number is on the paper, she tells me that, oh, did you recently buy a car? It's the paper plate that came with the car. And I said, no, I didn't recently buy a car. We bought a car mid last year, well, September of last year. So as you may or may not know, it only takes a couple weeks to get your real plate in the mail. The minute we got the real plate, we threw the paper one in the trash. I don't know what the number, and burned it. Yeah, burned it in our fire pit. I don't know what the plate paper number was because I owned it for like 2 weeks. So the fact that she mentioned that it was a paper plate before she even had any information from me, told me that she knows that this is happening all the time. So the ticket is for like $7 and change on April the 11th, which is like 17 days ago. And I look at my calendar, which I check everything I do on my calendar. That day was the day after one of my family members came back from Washington, D.C., and they spent the entire day with me, and I went nowhere. And this toll road violation was at Newport Beach. I don't ever drive to Newport Beach for anything. I'm retired. My wife works very close to home. She doesn't drive to Newport Beach. So then when I finally got into detail with the person on the phone, gave him the plate number, explained that's not my plate. And then she says, well, what kind of car do you drive? And I says, well, no, I'm not telling you that. What kind of car are you claiming that I drive? So she comes back and says, it's a Lexus. And I said, I don't have a Lexus. I've never owned a Lexus. It's not me. So any common sense person would think you clearly got the wrong person or the wrong video or whatever. You can undo this because it's not me. Well, the answer to that is no, I can't do anything. And of course, I'm going to get bent out of shape and tell her, what do you mean you can't fix it? It isn't me. I'm not paying you for something I didn't do. So the next connect the dots in my head is, if this other person that they're affiliating with me is driving around on this paper plate that they're affiliating with me for some reason, what if the other person does some other thing that's like robbing a bank or whatever he does, running over someone or whatever it is? I'm not going to pay the fine because then they could come back and say, okay, now that you admitted that it was you on the freeway when it wasn't, now we're going to arrest you for all this other stuff. I didn't do it. I will never pay him. And I told the lady, I'm never paying you $7 for something I didn't do. So she hangs up on me. This is the first person at 11 a.m. I started calling today. I end up calling from 11 a.m. until past 2 p.m. back to back, at least 9 or 10 times. And each agent, I talked to 2 different managers, tried to go upstream. Some of them wouldn't let me. Some managers I got to, they wouldn't do anything about it. I got differing information from different people. Some told me, yeah, right. Well, you want me to say that? I guess so, huh? My wife had to come home because the car is in her name. And then I'm the or person on the car. So I have her do the jumping through hoops that ensues from that moment on, which was first go to DMV, have them say that you're not driving this plate, therefore it's not you. She goes to DMV. DMV tells her they don't do anything about paper plates. It's only the dealer that does that. So I call constantly from 11 till 2. I'm on the phone with, like I said, 9, 10 different people.
Like, what, an hour and 20 minutes of waiting to say.
You were at the DMV to hear that they don't help after like 2 hours, you said.
Yeah, it was like an hour and 40 minutes.
Hour 40 minutes. My wife had to miss work and sit at the DMV for an hour and 40 minutes to be told that they don't have anything to do with paper plates. Now, the Toll Roads is a private company that somehow merged with the government so that they can get their money from them. But they're not a governmental agency, so they can run however they want. So the other thing they told me is, well, you have to go to the dealer and find out, because sometimes they take those numbers and they use them on several different cars. I'm like, okay. So she goes into the dealer and talks to them, and they says, nope, that number is only affiliated with your car, even though it's not the same car that they told me on the phone. So then I'm going, I don't drive the kind of car that you have. On this paper plate, the paper plate was burned in October, which was 6 months ago, almost 7 months ago, right? And I didn't even remember the number, much less I can't verify that was my paper plate, because who remembers who their freaking paper plate number is? That's a temporary 2-week plate. Nobody does that. I didn't take a picture of the car, nothing. So she goes to the dealer. Yep, it's affiliated with your car, but we don't reuse them. And there's nothing.
Not a Lexus.
It's not a Lexus.
It's affiliated with your.
It's affiliated with your model car. That's not a Lexus. But basically, they didn't care because they have their daily operations. What are they going to do about it? I mean, what am I going to do? Get an affidavit from Toyota that
they've never used it twice?
That they haven't done it twice? It could be some flunky at Toyota that has a stack full of fake paper plates, temporary paper plates, that run Xerox copies and sticks them on their car. I mean, these yahoos, you see them going down carpool lanes going 100 miles an hour with these paper things flipping in the wind. They might all work at the dealerships for all I know. And I'm not going to mention, did I say which dealership? I didn't, right? Because I can't, of course, say anything could be going crooked at the dealership, but it probably is.
And then CHP.
Well, wait. So then I look up online and it says you have to get a police report. So, of course, I'm thinking this thing says it was on the 73 highway down by Newport Beach. Well, that's probably CHP. So I call the sheriff. Sheriff, do I use you guys or do I use CHP? And they didn't know. But they said, yeah, since it's on the 73, probably go to CHP. So wife gets to go to CHP. CHP looks at it and says, this happens all the time, that people are driving around with phony plates, paper plate copies or whatever, and they aren't even going to file a report. Even though it says online, go get a police report. CHP didn't even want to do it, and they didn't do it. So I'm still on the phone at this point at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's been 3 hours of my day. I'm threatening a lawsuit, everything else. They're aggravating my health, which, you know, on my channel, I've had issues in the past couple of years. I was hospitalized, had 2 surgeries in 2 years, and I don't need this stuff. It wasn't me. It wasn't her. We went literally nowhere other than she worked till 3:30 on that day, and it claimed the ticket happened at 8:30 p.m. when we're home with my daughter.
And we have a receipt.
And I have a receipt from a local Dairy Queen at 6:30 p.m. in Bloomington. You know, unless I was Speed Racer and decided to drive from there down to the beach and back for no reason. I'm over 50 years old. I'm not a young person. I'm not going to the beach at 8:30 at night on a Friday afternoon, okay? Nor is my spouse or any of us, especially after my daughter just got back from DC. So, should I not have said that part? It's okay. Anyway, so then I'm still on the phone with these idiots, and I'm telling them I'm going to continue to call like every minute on the minute, every day until this is fixed, because it's not a Lexus. My car is not a Lexus. So then they suggest
not
that.
Even the right color.
Well, wait for that part. That's later. My wife finally returns home. In the midst, I gave up and called the sheriff. And the sheriff were actually very good. Took an incident report, got a number. And in this midst, my wife is calling the toll roads back. Hey, if you give us the sheriff's report number and send it to the email that we gave you, we'll kill it today. It'll be done. You won't have to wait 3 to 5 days, which I should never have to have waited 3 to 5 days in the first place. The very first person that said it was a Lexus, I don't own a Lexus. They have access to DMV records. I don't own a Lexus. Unless they're purporting that I rented a Lexus or went out and stole one, I don't drive a Lexus. So they're trying to make me prove a negative. They're not saying this is what we know you did. They're saying this is what we accuse you of, and you have to prove that you didn't do it.
But
how do you prove that you didn't do something?
But then they also on the phone were saying, yeah, we noticed that this isn't your car.
They said that to you?
Yeah, that's what she said.
So,
we know this isn't your car, but because the paper plate is associated with you, now you have to prove that
we didn't copy it and give it to someone else, or what?
That somebody stole it, which I was like, nobody stole it.
We burned it back in October, 7 months ago almost.
But then it's like, oh, well, now you have to prove that.
How do we prove that I didn't burn it in my fire pit when I burned all my private documents?
But then it was like, prove that somebody didn't make a copy.
How could anyone prove that they didn't make a copy of their paper plate, temporary paper plate, and that they didn't give it to somebody else?
She didn't even say that. She said, prove that somebody didn't make a copy of your plate. I said, how can I?
What were they going to do? Dig it out of my fire pit and put the ashes back
like,
together?
I mean, I don't know. Like, take a picture of it while I'm parked.
Well, yeah, while it was parked at her job, someone could have taken a picture. Someone on a traffic cam driving down the freeway could have got it. It could be the people at toll roads copied it, for all I know. I don't know who the hell copied that shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
But how do I prove who did it? It wasn't me.
But it's up to us to prove.
2 people. I'm a retired engineer. Never had any violations of any criminal kind my whole life. My wife neither has. Works for a governmental agency. I told them all this. I've got 2 outstanding children. One's in engineering school. The other one's an engineer. Nobody here does anything nefarious. And they're basically straight up accusing us without any proof.
But then also saying.
But then hang on. Oh. But then when she called, it was like the 11th phone call. I gave it to her. I'm about ready to have a fucking stroke. Pardon my French. She's over here on the 11th phone call being told it's a black Lexus. It doesn't even match the fucking color of my car.
Yeah.
So.
And the lady at that time, the lady on the phone was like, no, I realized. I understand your frustration.
No, they don't understand.
Yeah.
I've been telling them all day. They don't understand.
I understand. And I do realize, yes, I see where you're coming from. And I'm like,
no, they don't care.
How can I prove to you?
There's no way to fix it.
There's no way to fix it.
They give us a 3 to 5. So here's the other part that's stupid. The second lady acted like she cared and said, would you like me to file a dispute? And I said, yes. So I'm waiting on hold for her to file a dispute for like 5 minutes. She comes back, okay, dispute is filed. Well, after that, when I got off the phone with her, I thought, okay, maybe this will change something. I noticed on the back of the paperwork that you could file your own dispute yourself online. So I go in and I'm thinking, if I put in the information that's on this ticket, I should be able to see what she wrote. So sure enough, I logged in with the plate number and the violation number. And what came up was my wife's name, And then when it's description, it said NULL. No information. I take that to mean that they're rubber stamping their ticket against me, saying that there's no information. Therefore, when they review it, they'll say, nope, you still got to pay. And oh, by the way, in 30 days, it isn't going to be a $7 fine. It's going to be a $107 fine. And then I notice in the top right that within what was it, June?
Yeah, June.
So looking at less than 2 months from now, if I don't pay their extortion for not doing something, I didn't do it, nor did my wife. If I don't pay it and they don't get it off my thing, they're going to put a lien on my brand new car. We bought the car in September, and I've made several extra payments. I paid about $6,000 towards that car. And they're going to put a lien on my car and take my car away. Guess who gets to keep the money if they do that? What, Toyota? They get to repo my car and keep $6,000. I'm paid all the way through September.
Yeah, and we haven't even done our first oil change yet.
I've not even had our first service, and it's been over 6 months.
Yeah.
And she drives literally 3 miles each way to work and back on a daily basis. And I drive about 2 a day.
In a different car.
To get breakfast and come home. That's it. Between us, the two of us, we're looking at 10 miles a day in a car. That's why, I'm retired. I have a lot of free time. I do a lot of videos. I do plants. I do gardening. I do drums. I do music. I don't work.
Turtles.
She does turtles when she's home. But the whole point of the situation is the toll roads is a fucking scam.
Oh, scam.
It's a fucking scam. They already had a class action lawsuit against them that was done in 2021. I'm not sure what the details were about that. They have no interest in fixing this. And they know it's not me. And they know it's not her. And the police that came and talked to my wife know that it's not us. And they told us, email us the claim or the police report number, and we'll close it today. She called at 10 after 5. And I told her they won't fix it.
They close at 6.
She sat on hold and talked to him to 5:45. And the lady wasn't going to do nothing. She asked for a manager. And then they said, oh, everybody's gone now. They didn't do what they said they were going to do. They are purposely harassing us. So I've got 2 attorneys that I already have spoken to. You could file small claims in Superior Court for about $30 to $50, depending on the damage. I literally wasted my whole freaking day.
And my day.
And my wife missed half a day's work. And tomorrow we're going to the field office to waste more damn time because these guys are crooks. So I would like to invite any attorney that sees this out there to please try to compile the people, because CHP told her this is happening all over the place. These guys are copying paper plates. And if I know a guy's driving in Newport Beach, he's probably some rich, loaded, connected guy getting free driving time in a carpool or what is it called? Toll road off of other people having to suffer. Either that, or he could be a criminal for all I know,
right?
Like a major one. And I'm not going to give you the plate number because there's the phone. I am so fed up, and I'm going to court tomorrow to file a lawsuit if this isn't arranged and fixed up. I'm so pissed off.